devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome back to RossonARI TV. Guys, we're going to do a live. We're going to go over some cool topics for the upcoming game day 13 of the Serie A. The reason why I wanted to do this live, first of all, we haven't done a live in a while, so we just want to get back into it for a little bit. This next game against Fiorentina is going to be the first real test of the Serie A. And let me explain why. So this same game day, Juventus and Inter, the supposed derby of Italia, is going to be happening. And of course, that's the first place and the second place fighting against each other. And the result of that game is definitely going to be the very first, let's say, it can be the very first statement of a team that might end up winning the league. And essentially, what we have is Atalanta-Napoli also playing. Atalanta-Napoli, teams that are close to AC Milan. So a win by any of these two teams can be dangerous for Milan. Milan-Fiorentina is playing, of course. And we'll talk about that game. Juventus-Inter, and you also have Roma-Udinese playing. So a lot of teams that are close to us are going to be playing against each other. And because of where we are in the season and because of how this table is right now, let me get straight to the point. If Inter wins and we lose, that is going to be the first blow of the season. That is going to be the first the first major psychological blow, and that is going to definitely give more. That is going to galvanize Inter more, and it is going to depress Milan. So similar thing that happened to us when we played against Roma and we tied that game against Roma last year. So we have that potentiality happen. Now it's not as serious because there's still a lot left in the season, and still it's only game day 13. Game day 13. Um, it's a little bit too early to really say what is going to happen towards the end, but this is the first time we encounter a game that can really either bring us down or bring us on top. Now, of course, the other result that can fit that probably favors us the most is that Inter and Juventus tie and we win, so we get points off of both. If Juventus wins against Inter and we win, that's not too bad because we still stay close to the pack, the top three pack. Of course, if Milan ties, then it is best for both teams to tie, and everything stays the way it is. If Milan loses, both results are going to be very hurtful. Especially the Inter one, if Milan loses and Inter win, that is a huge blow. Huge blow that, again, it's not decisive, but it is definitely a blow. If Juventus wins, we're still not too far from the pack, but it's still, okay, Juventus is at 32, Inter at 31, we're still at 23, and guess what? Fiorentina beat us, and they're at 23 as well. Let's say Napoli or Atalanta wins, one of them is at 23 or the other one is at 24. So this is the real test of the season. This is where we're going to see where Milan is at, because after this game, the games are going to start to really matter. After now, we're getting closer to halfway through the season. We have right now we're still in the second quarter, and we're starting to surpass halfway of the second quarter. And soon the games are going to matter and the points are going to matter because there's going to be always less headroom. That headroom is going to get smaller and smaller. It's going to shrink and shrink and shrink. So big weekend for AC Milan. Milan cannot get this game wrong. This is a must win for AC Milan. This is a must win for AC Milan. Yeah, of course, if Milan wins and both Inter and Juve tie, it's not bad. Then things pretty much stay where they are. But this is the first time in the season that Milan is confronted with a scenario that could definitely hurt Milan's fight for top four, maybe even. And that is if Milan loses and Inter wins. All right, so that is one of the topics that we're going to look at. And the other topic we're going to talk about is Camarda, guys. Should Camarda play? Against Fiorentina? Essentially, it looks like Giroud, obviously, he's got his suspension. So, so he's not going to be available. And there were talks of Camarda possibly playing this game. So now I kind of looked at some comments online, and I saw one comment in particular that took my attention. Can he be really any worse than Jovic? And I think that kind of says it all, to be honest with you. Jovic has been pretty much ghosting all the games. He is far from being amalgamated to the system of the team. He is out of condition. It seems like we don't even know where his headspace is. This is a player that has a very unique situation coming from this huge club like Real Madrid down to lower club teams, going up and down. Like, it seems like he can't find a proper home. The last games, I think he didn't even take. He's barely taken any shots on goal. So, what is really the big difference if we start Kamada instead of Jovic? I don't think you get much. I mean, maybe the work off the ball is the difference right there. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, it has to be because Jovic is 26 or something like that. Kamada is 15. So the work off the ball, the power in the legs, and the power in the abdomen and the core is obviously going to be the big difference there. So off the ball, probably, when you see them train, Jovic offers more off the ball. But I mean, this is just maybe not. Maybe Kamada can do just as well off the ball too. So the other situation here that can turn out to be negative for Kamada is if Kamada does start, and then we kind of put the weight of the game on his shoulders. Like, man, Milan fans will do that. They will do that regardless. And they will and if, let's say, we lose that game as Kamada, then it's going to be all because Kamada is not good enough. Kamada can't score. Kamada this and Kamada that. And all of a sudden, his value just drops. It drops. So this is the big risk when it comes to young players, especially players that are teenagers or players that are in the youth systems that don't have any professional games. So that is a big risk. If, for example, he fails, that can be bad for him, and that can alter his career. So when it comes to these youngsters, that you have to be concerned of all the negative things that can happen as well, and then balance them out and figure out whether it is the right decision to put him in the spotlight so early. Now, of course, in this case, there is a unique situation at hand, and that unique situation at hand is Jovic is pretty much. Is he any different than a 15-year-old? I don't know. To me, it seems like he's not, honestly. And the only thing I say is that if Kamada does play, we must be careful, as the Milan universe must be careful not to put all the weight of AC Milan's results on his shoulders. But yes, so let's see what's going on in chat. How you guys doing? What's up, Christian? Forza Big Makulovic. Bunga Bunga Trophy, it's coming. Forza Italia. Yeah, guys, Italy today secured their spot in the Euros. So that is excellent. Very good. Difficult game against Ukraine. Italy maybe is lacking that last moment, the goal. Really, I think they had many opportunities to kill the game early. If they were a little bit more clinical, a little bit more spirit of a lion in front of goal, they would have closed that game early. But they tied 0-0, and Italy goes through. Great stuff. Nathan, what's up? Forza ACEPL Milan. Yeah, and it's getting worse and worse. Forza U Serie A, for sure. Forza Soccer. Forza USAC Milan. No man ever stops in the same river twice, where it's not the same river, it's not the same man. Forza Albania, guys. Albania is winning the Euro. There's no doubt about it. There is 100%. 100% no doubt that Albania is going to win the Euro. Italia. He should play, but he most likely won't unless we're winning by 9-0. Okay, so Nathan thinks that he should be playing. Hisham says it's not good for Kamada's development. Now, if experience is good, it just puts better light on him. But of course, you still don't want to play him every game. Hell no, don't start him. So Abdi is saying probably don't start him because he's too young. Are you doing a watch along for the Milan game? Yeah, I'm planning to do a watch along. Yeah, Giroud's been acting. He's young or something. He needs to rest. Well, he's going to be resting for 2 games. So no matter what, he's going to be resting. He's going to be out for 2 games. All right, so yeah, the Camarda situation is interesting. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. All right. So let's see what this is all about, guys. Ibra. What is Ibra going to be doing? Let's talk a little bit about this this aspect of the game, which is way too neglected by the common fan. This aspect of this layer of of a footballing institution is never talked about, never given the importance it deserves. Gianluca Di Maggio has confirmed that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is on his way back to AC Milan, but the timing of his arrival is yet not certain. As was reported by Di Marzio on Sky Sport, the former Rossoneri striker will be a part of Milan again soon, and he's going to be a sporting reference point for the club and for Jerry Cardinale, the one and only, guys, the savior. The only uncertainty that remains is when he will start this new role, which has been discussed for many weeks in meetings and in the press. Ibra is coming. We don't know the timing. He'll be a sporting reference. We don't know the timing. Great. Jesus. We will be a sporting reference point in the Milan galaxy and in Cardinale's galaxy. In all his interests and investments, he will be his technical and sporting eye, Di Marzio said. One of the recurring themes was the idea that Ibrahimovic does not want to come back in a superficial role. He wants to feel that he is having a genuine influence on the sporting side of operations. Yeah, so a lot of us have speculated whether or not someone like Jerry Cardinale, who seems to be quite arrogant in his ways and seems to, I don't know if he's really open to hearing other people's opinions or other people's opinions that maybe are not driven by his interests, which is Redbird. The main interest is always Redbird. It's never Milan. Remember, guys, remember this. We cannot take this out of the equation when we talk about these things. The main interest of Jerry Cardinale is Redbird. It is not AC Milan. This is not a dig. This is not an insult. This is not a criticism. This is just a factual statement, nothing else. So my question is, is Ibrahimovic going to mold himself into that, a Redbird employee, essentially? Or is Ibrahimovic going to approach his way of thinking more in the direction of just basically football and not so much, the corporate aspect of football? So I wonder if this is going to work, and I wonder if this is going to have any effect really on the team. Now, there's still a lot of information that has not been discussed yet, but I do believe that Ibrahimovic can have an impact on this team if he is close to the team. I don't think that he needs to be close to the management. In my opinion, this is just an opinion based on the data that we have absorbed throughout the years, is that if Ibrahimovic works alongside the management, I feel there's going to be a lot of friction. I feel at a certain point, Ibrahimovic is going to realize that he's dealing with complete noobs, and there's going to be a lot of friction. I think this dynamic can't work. I don't think it can work. There's just not enough power there to really hold Ibrahimovic down. Ibrahimovic is one of these characters that is just, unstoppable. So you need another big character like him somewhere in the club to accompany him or to, keep him on his feet. But I do think that if you put him close to the team, I think he can be very valuable. For example, if he is the guy that is going to be traveling with the team for every game, and he is the guy that is going to be representing the team every game, basically, at the stadium, doing the interviews, that means that he is going to be on the same bus with the team. That means that he's going to be in the same hotels with the team. He's going to be always with the team in the locker room, what Maldini and Massara were doing pretty much, their day-to-day business with the team. If Ibra can do something like that, I think that can be something that can help this team and give this team a certain level of discipline that right now completely lacks. So let's see. I guess we shall find out. We shall find out what his role will be. My opinion right now is if his role is exclusively managerial and he is alongside the management the whole time, I think that is going to collapse. But I think if his role is being close to the team and the people that listen to him are the players, the coach, the staff, the sporting people of the team, I think that he's going to get a lot of satisfaction from that. And you can get some good results from that. But this is just an opinion. We shall see. We shall definitely see what all of this means. The problem is we can't hold leads. If we were good at them, we would play, but we know how things have been. You mean Milan? Is Benacer coming back sooner? He's been playing with the Primavera. Is Benacer coming back sooner? Well, yeah, Benacer is training with the group, so we should be seeing Benacer pretty soon, for sure. Opinions on Napoli's manager situation? I think Mazzarri is definitely not the right coach for Napoli, especially because this Napoli is not built the same way Mazzarri plays football. This Napoli is built for a very offensive coach that likes to keep the ball, that likes to dictate play, that likes to be always on the offensive. Mazzarri is an Allegri type of coach. So basically, De Laurentiis is going even worse. The involution of De Laurentiis is crazy to me. The fact that these guys last year were finally able to build a team that was incredible. The structure of Napoli, from the president to the manager, to the management, to the players, to the coach, was perfect. These guys De Laurentiis put a nuclear bomb on his team. Spalletti gone. Kim, you didn't keep him. Giuntoli gone. And he goes to Juve. He goes to your direct competitor. The coach, completely different style. There's friction with him and Osimhen, with him and Viceverasquilla. There's just no. And now they fire the coach and then bring in another guy that is even more defensive. It's like I think De Laurentiis has completely lost the plot. De Laurentiis has completely lost the plot, and this season I think I think Napoli's going to really struggle this season. I think Napoli's going to struggle a lot this season. But let's see. It is all to be seen. Okay, now let's move on to another interesting headline that I saw, which is this one here. Furlani's promise to Galliani. What is this all about? AC Milan signed Luka Jovic on transfer deadline day rather than keep Lorenzo Colombo because a promise had been made to a former CEO Adriano Galliani at Monza. As has been reported by Pianeta Milan, Giorgio Furlani had promised Galliani that Colombo would be loaned to Monza once a new striker had arrived at Milan to be Oliver Giroud's deputy. That striker was expected to be Mehdi Souremi from FC Porto, but the deal fell away at the very last moment. Furlani was left with two choices, who could either betray the promise to Galliani and keep Colombo as depth or quickly move for Luka Jovic, who was available for free. If Milan had pulled the plug on Colombo to Monza, that would have also stopped Monza from letting Andrea Petagna go to Cagliari. Okay, all right. He opted to maintain relations with the Serie A clubs, but Jovic is yet to score. In La Gazzetta dello Sport claim Milan have effectively paid 500k for each shot he has taken as a Milan player so far. As for Taremi, he could now end up at Inter in January if we're willing to pay a small compensation fee to Porto. Wow, that's crazy. That is insane. De Laurentiis didn't realize Spalletti was the main character. Yes, he didn't realize the importance. I don't know, for some reason. And also, what is really stupid of De Laurentiis, and you have to say stupid. Like, guys, I'm gonna be, okay, guys, because the people have been, calling me out, blah blah blah. Everybody's not happy because of my criticism towards the management. De Laurentiis this season has been worse than the Cardinale in his group. De Laurentiis has operated in a worse way than than Cardinale. I mean, shit. Cardinale fired Maldini, so that's difficult to top. But we're there. We're close. They're fighting for who made the worst decisions. This is elite competition for who made the worst decisions this summer. It's between Jerry Cardinale and De Laurentiis. So yeah. All right, so let's see what the conditions of our players are going to be for the next game. This morning edition of Tutto Sport has provided an update on AC Milan's injured players in view of next weekend's game against Fiorentina at San Siro. The paper, Via Pianeta Milan, starts with the news on Ficaio Tomori came off halftime during England's win over Malta on Friday evening, but did not report any type of physical problem. Okay, so Tomori is good. The player himself reassured it on social media. Milan carried out their last training session of the week yesterday morning with group work and then a practice match against the Primavera. Chiara Pulisic did not take part. Both, however, have overcome their latest problems and will be available again next week. Rafael will be back at Milanello tomorrow, and Milan's plan is to have him back against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League next Tuesday. Okay, so Rafael, remember, he had that injury and he was subbed off against Lecce, so Rafael will not be part of the Fiorentina game. Guys, I want to talk about Fiorentina just a little bit because there's something that is 100% going to happen. And I don't know if this is a good thing for AC Milan or it's a bad thing for AC Milan. But according to what the stats of the Serie A and the performance of the teams in Italy, Fiorentina is leading the way in possession. Let me see if that stat is still intact. We're going to find out right now, because that is going to tell us a lot about how this game is going to go. So here we go. Statistics, teams. Let's see. Oh, no, never mind. I stand corrected. The stats have changed. And the stats have changed in our favor. So, okay. This is good. So the team with the most possession is Napoli. Milan now is second. A few weeks ago, Milan was not even in the top 5. So Milan has improved on the possession. That is a great thing. Very good. Monza third. That's quite a surprise for a mid-table team. Fiorentina now down to 4. Fiorentina was first for a good chunk of the first quarter of the season. First quarter of the season, Fiorentina was first, and they were first for quite a while, actually. But it looks like Napoli has surpassed them. Milan has surpassed them. It's not that much difference. So basically, okay, the stats tell us that this is going to be a pretty balanced game in the midfield. So it's going to be, 50-50 essentially. There are going to be moments where Fiorentina is going to hold the ball more, and there's going to be moments that. So both teams have the quality to hold the ball, essentially. This is what the stat is saying. So we're going to be seeing a game that is going to be dependent on the goal scorers for sure. And this is Jovic's opportunity to get some clout. So opportunity for Okafor, Chukwueze. It's probably going to be a game that, looking at this stat right now, the way it is, it's going to be a game that I think is going to be decided by the quality of the offense. Now, Fiorentina, offensively, I don't think there's much to be jealous of. Fiorentina, I don't think they provide much up top, to be honest with you. Now, of course, they do have quality players. They have Bonaventura, they have Icone, they have Sotil. They have a bunch of players that can create something out of nothing. Um, it's more or less the same. Honestly, it's more or less the same level that we are presenting. I mean, we're our striker is last year's Fiorentina's striker essentially. Okafor could easily play in Fiorentina as a back and forth. I don't think Okafor would even be guaranteed starter in Fiorentina, to be honest with you, and neither would Chukwueze. So they'd be playing, but they probably wouldn't be guaranteed starters. There are players there that could give them issues and could compete for that spot. So honestly speaking, let's look at this formation, guys. Let's think about it. Offensively, I don't think there's much difference between Fiorentina and Milan. The midfield wise, the stats say that Milan has a little bit more in possession, just a tiny bit more. Fiorentina is in top 5 for goals. Okay, so Fiorentina is in top 5 for goals, and we're not. So Fiorentina does score more goals than we do. Milan is top 5 in assists. I don't know how that works. I guess that counts. I guess Fiorentina had more goals from free kicks probably and penalties. Shots. Neither teams are in the top 5 for shots. Neither of the teams are in the top 5 for corner kicks. And never, okay. Yeah. Let me see in shots what the full standings look like. So Fiorentina's 8th place with 156 shots. Milan is in 10th place with 147 shots, just a little bit less. And they have a few more goals. Let's see the goal difference. So if Fiorentina does win, they also go to 23 points. They have conceded 16 goals. We have conceded 14 goals. But we have both scored 20 goals. So we are just gotcha. Okay, so we're just there. Yeah, this is going to be a very balanced game. Who has the edge? Honestly, maybe Milan has the edge because we are playing in our own stadium. So the big question that I have here, maybe also for the chat, is who has the edge? Defensively, maybe we have the edge because we have Magnan and Theo Hernandez. Midfield, they have a very good midfield. They have Artur, they have Bonaventura. I think they have a better midfield. They have to have a better midfield. Offensively, I think it's the same. Maybe our edge is what the stats are saying is those 2 goal difference, that we have conceded 2 goals less. And that is going to be the big difference between us and Fiorentina. Maybe that is the edge. We just have a slightly better defense than they do. We will do well against Fiorentina since they didn't play like a small club, but I don't care if we get a result. Icone and Dodo lit us up last season, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. So looking at this, this information here kind of gives me an idea that it'll be a pretty balanced game. Maybe this San Siro can help us out. I think Milan needs to be a little bit conservative in their approach. If Milan is just gung-ho like they have been doing, just sending everybody up top, I think Milan will suffer a lot. Probably against Fiorentina, Pioli's best option is to play semi-conservative. Don't press high. Essentially, don't press high. Just play on the counterattack. And essentially, both teams are going to do that. Both teams, maybe. I mean, honestly, just looking at how these teams naturally play, both teams are not going to do that. Both teams are just going to press each other high, and it's going to be a midfield battle. It is, yeah. I mean, okay, that is what it's going to be, guys. I mean, there's no point in even speculating. You can't really change nature. It's going to be a midfield battle. both attacks are literally the same. Like the quality is exactly the same. There's literally no difference in the quality. Maybe, yeah, I don't see any big differences in quality. Midfield, I see a little bit more quality in Fiorentina, just in the starters though. And defense, I see more quality with Milan. We have the stadium. This is going to be a two game. It's going to be a very, very fought. This is, yeah, I see this game as being a game that is going to be fought. It's going to be a very difficult game for both teams. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a lot of. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be like Napoli Milan. It's going to be two teams that are going to go at it. We're going to play good football. And that's what we want to see. Maybe this game can be a good spot for the Serie A. The more I think about it, and the more I think about how these teams will just naturally play, because that's how they've been built and that's how they train. Both teams are going to go at it, and it's going to be a midfield battle. I don't know. I don't know what the result is going to be, but the only thing that I do know, and I'll repeat it one more time before we end up closing, is that if Milan lose and Inter win, that is the big blow. Big blow to the morale of the team. A lot of players will start to think that, okay, yeah, maybe the Scudetto is not going to happen this year. It's just the beginning of that, you know? It'll be literally the first jab that is just going to give you a little bit of a little stars, few stars, but there's still many more jabs to avoid. It's still the beginning. I'm just saying this is the first real test of the Serie A for Milan right now. This is one of those games that if you want to still be in it going towards the end of the first half, you got to win this game. This is a big game that you got to win. What's the next game? Let's go to game day 14. Monza, Juve, Genoa, Empoli, Lazio, Cagliari, Milan, Frosinone. Napoli, Inter. Wow. Now, this can be quite interesting. If Inter loses 2 games in a row and Milan wins 2 games in a row, that would mean a lot. That would mean that we will get to 29 and they'd stay at 31. And all of a sudden, that gap with Inter closes down. And all of a sudden, the Serie A is extremely competitive. But that would mean that Juventus wins against Inter, so they go to 32. And let's say they lose the next game. Who is Juventus playing after? Monza. Juventus is playing Monza, a team that holds a lot of possession out home. Okay, so let's say for some reason Juventus does not win that game, so they would be at 32, and Milan would be at 29. And basically, the race would be Milan 29, Inter 31, Juventus 32. That is a good scenario for us. So Inter, this is a big 2 game days for Inter, because if Inter win both of these games, then they will set themselves apart from Juventus, who is second, and then Napoli, who is fourth. So then Inter now will propel themselves into a very comfortable spot. And if they maintain that spot, that will put pressure on all the teams below. So Inter can get into a situation like Napoli was last year, where Napoli was just winning every single game. At a certain point, the teams under Napoli just gave up. They gave up early because they just couldn't keep up with Napoli. Inter could possibly do that if Inter beats Juventus and Napoli in a row. Inter could get in that kind of lane, and it'll be very difficult to catch up with them. So anyway, this game day here is going to be fascinating. The results of this game day are going to be absolutely fascinating. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. Let's see if there's any other reports. What's up, Ando? Guys, I don't even feel like talking about Chukwueze. I really don't care. Whatever. Like, if he scores, if he does good. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Is there anything else to look at? How do Milan rank at this point compared to the last season? Yeah, we already know that. We've already discussed that. Balotelli might be coming back. Nobody cares. Gans was fired from the women's football team. Nobody cares. Jonathan David. So there are rumors suggesting that Milan is going strong in for Jonathan David. Good player, very good player. I think if I had a Jonathan David in the team, I would change up my formation a little bit, and I'd play with two strikers, Leao and Jonathan David, both up top together. I think that would be very, very good. The issue for me at the end of the day, guys, still remains the same. It doesn't matter who we buy. It's the people managing the club are still going to be there. They're the ones that are going to hold the club down. Like, it doesn't matter who you have playing the football. But at the end of the day, the competition is not just Leao against Chiesa, Leao against this guy or that guy. The competition is also Furlani against Giuntoli, Furlani against Marotta, etc., etc. So Furlani against Pinto. So it's the competition is there too. That's also part of the game. And in that department, that whole stratosphere of football, we are extremely weak. We are extremely weak. And the other teams are just way in front of us when it comes to that aspect. I mean, Marotta and his group is just way too superior to what we have. It's not even comparable. It's basically the difference between men and toddlers. That's the difference. It's like you play a football game, you put men on the pitch, and the other team is toddlers. Like, or Giuntoli and the Juventus system, guys. Like, you can't compete against that with what we have. Like, no chance in hell. Like, it's no contest. So that still is that still will be the issue, and that issue will be there for a few years. Hopefully, eventually, Furlani, Moncada, and Jerry and his group of people will start to learn the ways of football, of Serie A. They'll start to understand the culture a little bit more. They'll start to understand how to compete more. But yeah, like there's no contest right now. There's absolutely no contest when it comes to that aspect of football, and that is an aspect of football that is not talked about enough. People don't consider it. People only they don't look at who operates outside of the starting 11 of a team. They don't look at those things. They take those things as granted, as if you can have anybody there and it doesn't matter. You can get anybody from the street, let him do that job, and it's the same. It's not. Like, all of these positions in football institutions matter, and they bear their weight, and it is a competitive business sport. And those players, because that's what they are, they're not playing the game, but they're playing a different aspect of the game. They are also competing against each other. So it's like having Leao against me, guys. If I go play 1v1 against Leao, I don't stand a chance. Obviously, I don't stand a chance. Like, you wouldn't stand a chance. Like, most people would not stand a chance. But who do you put up against Leao? Someone of his same level, and then okay, then it balances out. So that's the situation that we have, and that situation is going to stay there for a few years until things get changed. Now, the introduction of Ibra is a step towards the right direction. We need big psychological warfare machines in the team. We need people that know the ins and outs of football. They know how locker room works. They know the dynamics of the game. They know the dynamics of football players. They understand how all of these dynamics work together in a locker room and in all the different layers of a football institution. And they need to be good at making the right decisions to bringing in the right people to accomplish whatever needs to be accomplished. So Ibrahimovic is definitely a step in the right direction. Let's see if he works. But guys, remember, you can bring in Jonathan David, you can bring in this guy, you can bring in that guy. It does not matter. It does not matter. It's still Furlani against Marotta. It is still Furlani against Giuntoli. It is still Furlani against all the other guys. So that's a part of football that I think people don't give enough importance to. Oh wow, look at this, guys. Damn. Look at this. This one is nice and tasty. Look at that. Secondo quanto affermato da tutto il mondo. So this is sempremilan.it. Let's read. According to Tutto Sport, AC Milan are closely following Quillins G. Hartman, a 22-year-old left back in Feyenoord who could fill the role of Theo Hernandez's deputy within Pioli's squad, just like Juan Miranda, whose contract with Betis Sevilla expires. Protagonist of a positive season in the Eredivisie made up of 12 appearances and 3 assists, Hartman has characteristics similar to those of Theo Hernandez, sharing with the French the ease of running and jumping the man. Unlike Miranda, whose contract is expired, Milan would have to spend close to 20 million to snatch him from Feyenoord to buy the Dutchman, a figure that is also too high for a player who should theoretically play the role of a reserve. Okay. Hartman to replace Theo Hernandez, guys. This is getting juicy. Another... Oh, God. And it is precisely in this sense that Milan's search for one or two left backs could represent a strategy with surprising contours ahead of the summer. The departure of Theo Hernandez. The last few signings in July have already shown how the RossonARI management is also open to any big sacrifices to now useful to significantly strengthening their squad. Oh no, guys, look at this. Now even the media is starting to say it. That Theo Hernandez could be seen as a sacrifice. Another sacrifice in the summer. How much is Theo Hernandez worth? Precisely for this reason, Theo Hernandez, whose season is to date the most disappointing, also in terms of numbers since he has won the RossonARI, could be the prize piece put up for sale by Moncada and Ottavio, and for which Milan intends to cash in a figure of no less than 60 million. Despite the not totally positive numbers of this season, only 1 goal and 1 assist in just 9 appearances, Theo is still considered one of the best left backs in the world, continuously playing the starting role in France. All of Europe wants Theo. Amazing. PSG, Manchester United, Real Madrid have already shown their interest in the AC Milan winger, who will expire in 2026 with the Via Aldorossi club. In terms of timing, therefore, next summer could be the ideal time to cash in on his sale. A departure that would guarantee Milan a useful figure to replace him, but at the same time also to strengthen the department's most in difficulty. So there it is, guys. Next year, It will be 2 years from the end of his contract. We know that that is the best time to sell players. The best time to cash in players is 2 years before the contract expires, or in the beginning of a contract where you go hit the jackpot. But this is going to be a very, very interesting summer. Woo-wee! Hartman and Milan to fill the eternal void on the left. Yeah, okay. I don't know who they are and I don't care. But look at that, guys. The possible that they already started. They already started. Poor Theo Hernandez. All right, guys. So to recap, should Camarda play against Fiorentina? I say sure, why not? That's my take. Sure, why not? He can't be worse than he can't be worse than Jovic. You know, crazy, but whatever. Big game for Milan, yes, extremely big game for Milan. This game could either be the first big blow of the season, or it could be a step in the right direction. Now, this particular game bears more weight than any of the other games we played so far, because now the points are going to start to matter. The points are going to start to matter now. And then what else did we touch on? Yeah, Theo Hernandez being the sacrificial lamb. Okay. All right, guys. So we will see you during the week. We'll do more lives soon. I'm going to start doing short videos again and posting maybe 2 short videos again. And of course, guys, when the games start rolling again, we're going to get back into it, post watch alongs and post matches. So having said that, have an excellent day wherever you are, night. Forza Milan. Till next time. Peace. Bye.